Alright, geometry, here we are with another lesson. We got 7.4 special right triangles. Okay, going to be a pretty short one today because we're splitting this into 3 days. Okay, day 1 we got the 45, 45, 90. 45, 45, 90. And this is the pattern we'll follow for all 45, 45, 90 right triangles. Okay. So, or an isosceles right triangle. If these two sides are going to be the same, we'll call those x. And the hypotenuse is always going to be whatever these are with a radical 2 behind it, or times radical 2. Okay? So how come that works like it does? Okay, let's use a squared plus b squared equals c squared. If I had x squared plus x squared, what would be my c squared side? So x squared plus x squared is 2x squared. And then when I go to do the square root, okay, we're going to break that apart. And I can do the square root of x squared. It's going to be x. Can't do the square root of 2. It stays the same. And there we are. That's why it's going to equal x times radical 2. Okay. So if these two sides are the same, and they will be in an isosceles right triangle, okay, they got a couple different ways of showing this. They might put in the 45, 45, which is telling you it's isosceles right triangle. They also might use the tick marks here, which would mean that these two sides are the same, and that's going to make those two angles be the same, so they would have to be 45. So they have a couple different ways of showing you that it's going to be an isosceles right triangle. Alright, we'll get you started with some easy ones. Okay? It's an isosceles right triangle. Alright, one of the legs is 6. So the other leg is 6. And then the hypotenuse would be 6 square root of 2. Okay, now take a look at this one, and then put it in reverse, because that's what we have over here. This time they're giving us the hypotenuse, 8 radical 2. What does that mean my legs were? Okay, this was 6 radical 2, and the legs are 6 and 6. If this is 8 radical 2, then my legs are 8 and 8. We're going to skip 3 for now. I'll come back to that one. Let's do 4. 4 is a little different. Uh-oh. We have a square root on our leg side. Okay, no worries. This is pretty easy, right? 3 radical 2. So this other one's 3 radical 2. Okay. And then, how do we get this one? Well, that one is whatever our leg was times radical 2. Okay, it's always going to be what this is times radical 2. So we'll have 3 radical 4. Ooh, but I can do the square root of 4. It's 2. And 3 times 2 is 6. Okay. So if this one has a radical 2 in it, then that means this one's going to be a nice one. Okay, we can do that. So whatever this is, times radical 2 gets you that hypotenuse. Okay? So take a look at this one from here to here, and let's see if we can find a pattern to apply to this one. 6, 3 radical 2, 3 radical 2. So if I have a nice number here, okay, well, I'll let you figure it out here. We'll do it the long way first, and then I'll show you the little shortcut that you can try to use. Okay, so they gave us 10. 10 is on the hypotenuse. What's our little diagram say for hypotenuse? That it is x radical 2 side. Okay, so now I want to know what the x side is. So let's solve for x. Let's divide by square root of 2. Okay, and then from our radical worksheets, we had that we can't have a square root on the bottom. So I take that same square root and multiply it to top and bottom. So that'll give me 10 radical 2 on the top, regular 2 on the bottom. Radical 2 times radical 2, it's going to be radical 4. Square root of 4 is 2. And then now I have 2 nice numbers here, 10 and a 2. I can divide those. 5 radical 2. And that's what the legs are going to be. Now about that shortcut, okay? If they give you a nice one on the hypotenuse, all right, you can cut it in half to 5 and then put a radical 2 on the back. Cut it in half, 3, and then put a radical 2 on it, okay? If they give you a radical 2 over here, okay, you're just kind of doubling it and dropping the square root. So that's kind of the patterns here when they have the radicals in the spot that we're not used to it. Okay, over here these are pretty easy. 6, 6, 6 radical 2. Oh, they gave me 8 radical 2. That means my legs are 8 and 8. Okay, and then these two are kind of the backwards ones, where the nice numbers, where not where it's supposed to be, and the radical numbers not where it's supposed to be. Then they kind of have their own little patterns too. Okay. If they give you the nice number on the hypotenuse, you can divide it by 2 to 5, and then tack on that radical on the back. Okay, or if they give you down here, you just kind of drop the radical and double the front number. All right, so there's going to be a worksheet with that one. You have to come get that from me in class if you weren't here. Otherwise, email me and I'll email you that worksheet. Yeah. So not too bad. Take your time with that one. We got 2 more days of stuff like this.